habitual killers would be out of control.
Their conduct must therefore be brought to an abrupt end by an effective crime detection and prosecution justice system.
The Chief Justice Haola Belwe says he has agreed with other judges to expedite and deliver judgments on cases before the courts by end of March 2025. He says that the administration of justice have agreed to do this in a response to a complaint raised by the Law Society of Botswana that judges take a long time to deliver judgments on cases. Justice Kitlogetso highlighted this at the official opening of the 2025-26 legal year. Wabetsu Mpulubusi with the details.
Last year, during the opening of the legal year, the Law Society of Botswana boycotted the proceedings, hinting chaos within the judicial service and their grievances not being addressed. One of their grievances was prolonged cases, which frustrates litigants.
The High Court has set for itself timeframes within which civil and criminal matters are to be concluded. These timeframes are hardly complied with, mostly because our current judges are inundated with files. They already have their work cut out for them. In this respect, we believe that more appointments are necessary to ensure a timely dispensation of justice. We shall not be gracing this occasion every year to come to make speeches, go back to our office, come back the following year to sing praise to our issues. We will move to a more practical solution should verbal engagements alone fail us, which we are highly doubtful.
We have resolved as judges, particularly those in default, that every judge with delayed judgments, as of today, must have delivered such judgment or judgments by the end of March this year.
The Chief Justice says that additional judges at the Court of Appeal will be hired, as well as additional court reporters, to address the issue of backlog of cases.
I'm happy to disclose to you that in my brief discussion with the President this morning, Advocate Duma Bauko, Advocate Duma Gideon Bauko, and an officer of this court, together with the Honorable Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, who also happens to be an officer of this court, they have agreed that the justices of the Court of Appeal will be increased.
Mr. Kitlogetso highlighted that the administration of justice will work hard to restore public confidence in the judiciary, and he will, at the end of the legal year, host a news conference that will be open to the public, where there will be questions and suggestions regarding the administration of justice. Wabetsu Mpulubusi, BTV News, Gaborone.
South African Minister of Minerals and Petroleum Resources, Mr. Gwede Mantashe, has called on African mining companies and governments to start collaborating so as to shape the future of the continent's mining industry. Mantashe said this when delivering a keynote address on behalf of South African President Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa at the opening ceremony of African Mining in Durban on Monday, stressing that the gathering is meant to discuss Africa's mineral wealth and how it can be of benefit to communities. He said that Africa hosts significant reserves of industrially important minerals, and with the growing demand for these minerals, Africa needs to assert its advantage and take charge of the growing demand. Minister Mantashe noted that African countries could not continue debating these minerals based on the dictates of some developed countries, as if they had no aspirations to accelerate Africa's industrialization and close the development deficit. Delegates were also asked to contribute in building the Africa they want. Still in Cape Town, the diamond sales agreement between Botswana and De Beers is said to be a great platform for Botswana to strengthen the narrative of how the global customer perceives Botswana diamonds. The partnership will also see Botswana benefit from the Diamond for Development Fund. The Minister of Minerals and Energy, Ms. Bogolweke Nwendo, and CEO of Botswana, Mr. Al Cook, remarked in Cape Town, South Africa, after successfully sealing the negotiations focused on establishing a new sales agreement for Botswana's rough diamond production. With more.
Some of the key aspects highlighted by the agreement, which goes up to 2029, include sales of rough diamonds, the Diamond Development Program, purposed to support the country's economy, and marketing. Botswana and DBS will collaborate through a set committee to market and allow Botswana to tell Botswana's story behind her diamonds, setting the narrative on how they should be perceived in the global markets.
Mo kontrakeng ya rona le di tsamaiso tsa rona le DBS gore re utlwe le gore ditamane di tabo di marketiwa jalo di reksiwa jalo go tlhalosiwa ka botlalo.
It is the first time for the country to be given the privilege to market her own diamonds. We have agreed that Botswana diamonds should clearly be identified in the global markets. Botswana worked hard for the country to secure this agreement, which ensures that Botswana diamonds continue to hold value in the global markets, progressively maintaining the lead in the diamond industry. Our diamonds are beyond accessories, but a means for human development. A development fund as part of the agreement is hoped to foster human development and further help the country diversify the economy through the value chain development.
I'm so delighted that we're now announcing a partnership that is going to extend beyond the midpoint of this century. And key to that partnership is bringing benefit to the people of Botswana. What does that mean? That means investment in mining in Botswana, it means investment in diamonds in Botswana, but through the Diamonds for Development Fund, it means so much more. It means investment beyond diamonds, investment beyond the mines. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be setting up the Diamonds for Development Fund with an initial contribution of $1 billion pula in order to create thousands of jobs, to create skills development, and create a new sustainable economy for the great country of Botswana.
DBS will start with 1 billion pula annually for a period of 10 years, while we look for alternatives which will result with employment creation and developing other sectors of the economy. The Minister of Minerals and Energy, Ms. Nwendo, says more details on the agreement and how it will benefit an ordinary Botswana will be unpacked after the final signing of the agreement end of February. Kelekeletswe, Somolikai, PTV News.
Government has committed to facilitate a conducive environment to allow for locally produced goods to be available in neighboring countries. This was confirmed by the Minister of Trade and Entrepreneurship, Mr. Direo Nzima, in a meeting hosted for Cabinet by Woolworths Botswana to discuss how the chain stores group can play a more meaningful role in growing local businesses.
As part of its commitment to diversifying the economy, government has continued on its drive to grow and open opportunities for different sectors of the economy. The retail industry is one of those that are key to the growth of local manufacturing industry through acquisition of their products. Woolworths Botswana is one of such stores that have been applauded for making great strides in promoting local businesses.
Me re itumeletse gape gore ba kgona gore ba re bitse gongwe re le goromente gore re twane le bone gore bone ba akantseng le rona gore re akantseng go ya pele. Me ke tsa gore mo go sene re se kopanetse re utlwile gone gore ba akantseng go a kopele ba go atolosa ga kae.
This meeting between government and Woolworths is important as it is for the best interests of the country. They demand quality from the businesses they buy from, which is something that can help those businesses to grow.
In Francistown, we consume the bulk of their produce, and it's not only distributed in Botswana, we take it to the rest of Africa, where there's Woolworths. And when you go into Mauritius or Zambia, South Africa, they made in Botswana in a Woolworths store. And that equates to about 20 million per annum that we source from Notex Botswana in Francistown.
There are countries that are smaller than Botswana but can be able to import and export more from other countries. So it is doable. But we need that determination, we need that commitment. One of the first things I did when I got to Botswana as High Commissioner, we had a meeting with the then Minister of Trade. And Minister of Trade, I'm glad that you are here. One of the things that I raised was what we need is for South African businesses to sit together and say, what are the challenges that we are facing in terms of doing business in Botswana? And Botswana to do the same. What are the challenges that we are facing in terms of doing business with South Africa? Because the only challenge, believe me, is not only about the ban, there are bigger problems.
At a time when the country is grappling with rising numbers of unemployment, the retail industry has been cited as one of those that could make a difference.
Let me add to the government that Woolworths is very keen and open for engagements to open growth opportunities, both in government and in Woolworths. We look forward to partnerships that will unlock opportunities to drive the economy diversification, fight unemployment, share skills with the local industries for their growth. I thank you.
This meeting comes at a time when government is looking at all opportunities for partnerships aimed at economic growth and improving livelihoods. BTV News, Gaborone.
Thank you for staying with BTV News at 9 o'clock. Members of Parliament have been encouraged to recognize the significance of the Budget Analysis Seminar in enhancing their understanding on the role of Parliament in the national budgeting process, as well as their knowledge in public finance and economics. This was highlighted by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mr. Dithapelo Korapetse, when officially opening the 4-day Budget Analysis Seminar organized for MPs in Gaborone. Monica Siswaila has more.
With only a few days left for the Minister of Finance, Mr. Raoula Tendaba, to present the budget speech, it is pivotal to ensure that members of Parliament, who are part of an organ responsible for making and approving laws, are well informed about the budget process.
In addition, you wield the power of the purse. The initiatives in tax and expenditure proposals, they rest with Parliament. The budget, where there will be a review of the economy, public finances, expenditure, revenues, and even taxation. You will be called, honorable members, to debate and ultimately adopt or even amend these proposals. Again, you'll note that it is Parliament which sanctions borrowing, and it also sets statutory limits for borrowing, currently at 40% of our GDP. So that is why you are here, honorable members, because 70% of you are new in this Parliament. And we cannot just take it for granted that you will understand everything that will be presented before you on the 10th of February, next week, Monday.
A major issue that the government has prioritized is addressing unemployment. To ensure an effective budget, the seminar also seeks to capacitate MPs on the best possible ways to monitor and track the budget performance.
As a member of Parliament, when you are now looking at the budget, you also saying to yourself, are the focus realistic? Are the assumptions credible? Is the budget simple enough to understand and for the public out there to understand? Because at the end of the day, the point to highlight is that these are public resources. And the government has simply been entrusted with managing the public resources.
Members of Parliament were urged to ensure that the budget represents the aspirations of the people. Monica Setswaila, BTV News, Gaborone.
Charles Hill residents say that water challenges date as far back as 2019, when the village was hard hit by a shortage of water, hence pleading with the Ministry of Water and Human Settlement to prioritize a water project for the village. Residents stressed this during a Khotla meeting in Charles Hill, addressed by a Member of Parliament for Charles Hill, who is also the Assistant Minister of Water and Human Settlement, Mr. Motsamai. Let's see you with the details.
Charles Hill residents have revealed that shortage of water challenge they have been decrying for years now needs to be addressed, stating government should treat it as one of their key priority areas.
Water is life.
And they are promise promise.
In June, we were assured that water would be available, but nothing happened. In September, another promise was made, stating that everything was now in place and water would soon be provided. Progress was seen towards October, when water pipelines were installed and some residents in Chelsea were able to access water in their home. However, since then, the situation have reverted and there's no water in Chelsea once again.
As we speak,
there's the Nojani water project that is expected to start soon. That is one of the projects that we believe will end shortage of water crisis in Charles Hill. We know that one of the boreholes was closed due to contamination. We cannot use it to supply the village with that water. Assistant Minister says it is the mandate of his ministry to make sure that each and every Botswana had access to water, but some services will take longer than expected time due to the country's current financial constraints.
Maybe le gape ele metsi a le kanang batho ele metsi a go bonwang gore metsi a tlhatlhobilwe a na le boleng a le kana batho.
It is the ministry's mandate to make sure that there is adequate clean water for all. Currently, the government has no money. Even some of the projects across Botswana have been halted due to this challenge.
Le nna tota ke se tle ke kopane le lone le nako ene ke sa bereke. Sekgoma sa ga governmente ga sena madi. Ha gona madi mo go utlwisang botlhoko ka gore di project tse dingwe ebile di emisitswe ke letlhoko la madi.
A few projects are in pipeline aimed at addressing the acute water shortage in this village, which will end once and for all this challenge that has spanned almost 5 years. Lesego Mokwaisi, BTV News, Charles Hill.
Botswana Examinations Council has released the 2024 Junior Certificate Examination JCE results. A total of 45,284 candidates set for the examinations, showing an increase of 1.18% in candidature compared to 44,750 candidates in 2023. 49.2% of these were male candidates and 50.8% were female candidates. It is therefore concluded that the performance of the candidates from government schools in the 2024 seating improved significantly compared to 2023. Performance for all 2024 JCE candidates, that is both government and private candidates, indicate that the proportion of candidates obtaining credit passes, that is grade C or better, is 36.28% compared to 34.24% in 2023, showing a significant improvement of 2.04%. whereas the proportion of candidates obtaining grade E or better is 81.66% compared to 77.79% in 2023, which is a significant improvement by 3.84% from the previous year. The pass rate for the 2024 cohort is 86.66%. 16 candidates obtained a merit in 2024 compared to 8 in 2023. 2 candidates obtained straight A's in all their 9 syllabuses. Overall performance of government schools for the 2024 JCE cohort indicates that the proportion of candidates who obtained grade C or better is at 38.57% compared to 37.10% in 2023. Indicating an improvement of 1.47%. The proportion of candidates who obtained pass grades, that is grade E or better, sits at 85.54% compared to 83.10% in 2023, which is a significant improvement of 2.44%. In international news, we start right here in Africa, where survivors of Darfur killings in Sudan are said to be reeling in trauma from their experiences. Voice of America News says almost everyone from the Adre refugee camp in Chad who ran away from Darfur has a story to tell.
Early November, the year 2023, fighting broke out in West Darfur. Rapid Support Forces RSF killed scores of civilians in the region, mainly targeting the Masalit community. It is said more than 61,000 people have been killed from the ongoing war in Sudan. Recent research, however, have revealed that the number could be higher. Refugees from the Adre refugee camp in Chad narrate the horrors they went through.
The psychological trauma is overwhelming. The loss of loved ones is immense. Death has become too frequent. Some families have lost both parents. In such cases, the child becomes the caretaker.
They killed my mother and my brother. They killed them in my house. They killed a lot of people.
Sudanese people demand justice and accountability.
The whole world condemns violations of human rights, and they have agreements under the United Nations and so on. The people responsible should be brought to trial for the crimes committed in Darfur.
According to the United States Institute of Peace, early 2025, the U.S. concluded that Rapid Support Forces committed acts of genocide in Sudan after reviewing evidence of the group's mounting atrocities, which include the systematic targeting of women and children, ethnic cleansing, and crimes against humanity. Laonele Gwale, BTV News.
And lastly, the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, announced on Monday that he is the acting administrator of the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, confirming the de facto takeover of the humanitarian agency by the State Department. USAID's Washington, D.C. headquarters has been closed and staff advised to work from home. In a letter to lawmakers on Monday, Rubio said he had delegated the authority of acting administrator to Pete Marocco, a Trump appointee who served at USAID during President Trump's first term. This comes in the wake of a blanket pause in federal foreign spending, especially on aid programs, and a number of employees of these aid organizations have been laid off. The agency, which manages billions of dollars in federal humanitarian assistance worldwide, is under review of potential reorganization. Democratic lawmakers are gearing up to challenge these actions. Jose Honkwe is standing by with Sport News.
Let me thank you, Khomso, and good evening. This is Hosankwe bringing to you the Botswana Tonight Sports News. And with that, let's kickstart with the top story. Botswana Football Association National Women's Committee Chairperson Aki Musingi says the preparations for the start of the National Women's First Division League are going according to plan. Tsapoki Himile and William Sioka compiled the report.
Musingi said the league is expected to revive local women's football, which has been growing at a slow pace.
National First Division ke etaya e ha godimo ga ya gompieno re tshameka regionally throughout the country. So ngwaga ono we will be promoting season e hayala we will be promoting
The National Women First Division is a top-tier football league that is above the regional structures we've been playing throughout the country. This year, we'll be promoting teams from regional leagues to First Division, which will be divided into two streams of North and South. 8 champions from the regions will get an automatic promotion to the First Division, while the 2 remaining places will be filled during playoffs.
Kako South, the region is paid, and the region had we have 8 teams. We will have 8 teams still in the champion, and the last 2 slots for the playoffs so that the team feed on that slot.
The chairperson further said they are expecting financial assistance from FIFA to ensure the success of the league.
FIFA. Re planela gore re trenne le di trainings. The
start of the league will be facilitated by FIFA. We plan to host different workshops that will cover club licensing and induction of coaches to ensure that the promoted teams meet the FIFA requirements.
Safeguarding jalo.
The National Women's First Division League is expected to commence in August this year, and it will help unearth more talent. Tsapoki Himile, PTV Sport.
Subsequent to the stoppage of the National First Division South League encounter between Notwane and Police 11 due to heavy rainfall over the weekend, the match has now been rescheduled to SSG grounds tomorrow. A victory for Police 11 tomorrow will see them topple Tlokwe United at the summit of the lock, as the two sides are currently level with 18 points from 10 outings. Toronto, on the other hand, are 6th with 13 points. The game is scheduled for 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. Moving on, following the team's acquisition by a renowned businessman, Mr. Jimmy Kiring, Mahosi FC is determined to gain promotion to the FNB Premier League and remain in the top flight beyond next season. Sofa Sumalepa has the full story.
Mahosi FC, who are currently 7th on the First Division South Lock standings, are looking forward to finish strong this season, especially after making some promising signings in the just-ended transfer window.
3 weeks ago,
3 weeks ago, we were last on the log table. 2 weeks later, we are sitting on position 7. We believe that after 13 weeks, we'll be one of the top teams. With the quality of players we have brought in, we have confidence that we would have succeeded in being at the top of the log table at the end of the season.
After the next 13 weeks.
The team president, Mr. Jimmy Kiring, stated that the goal is to compete in the Premier League next season, emphasizing the importance of maintaining high standards in the performance if they want to maintain their status while in the Premier League.
It's an more competition. Michael Ahokero, when no fee. Hakizan Hakerkia, Buledi Sakante. Michael Okorken no fee, you get Premier League.
Whenever you participate in a competition, the aim is to come out victorious. Through this team, I intend to win the league and play in the Premier League next season, where I'm optimistic we'll maintain our status. Proper channels are in place to assist the team to progress to the Premier League by winning all remaining 13 games. We have signed new players together with coaches looking at the team's strengths and weaknesses.
The strengths and weaknesses sa team di la hakai bona nane ile morungwa gore nya mpuele le bale re tlhoka striker re tlhoka defender sa mele gore nya ke ba be ha se ke buisane le bana ba gore nya tla letle go thusa mo magosi ga re setse re batla gore re go Premier League jana ke tsa re dumela gore ba tla rekisa.
The players have embraced the new developments and are committed to doing everything possible to ensure they remain competitive and progress to the Premier League.
Team, rotlhe re mo no one. So re batla go tswela gepe e re itlhalang e le teng because most of us here re bantšha mo teaming ye.
When I look at my team as a whole, we have a collective decision to close the gap between us and the log leaders. Although most of us are new in the team, we will do everything possible to finish in the top 3 at the end of the season. And we intend to treat each game as a cup final and collect maximum points.
So we have to collect 3 points. We don't want to drop any points. So I think second round, I think number 3.
Mahosi FC is one of the teams striving to excel this season and will be rebranded to become Dinar FC at the end of the season. Tsegofatso Malepa, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that is all that we had for you from Botswana Tonight Sports Desk. Until we meet tomorrow, have a blessed night. Now let's take a look at the headlines.
At the legal year opening this morning, Chief Justice Kitlohetsu promised courts will respond swiftly to cases of ritual killings. Cabinet commits to facilitate a conducive environment to allow for locally produced goods to compete internationally. And in sports, the preparations for Women's First Division League to commence in August is said to be going well. Joseho Nkwe bringing us to the end of our news bulletin this evening. Interpreting in sign language was Topo Taposa. Up next to see you with the update, BTV News, Ikanyarona.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather forecast brought to you by Samuel Ramotondo. The following are some of the rainfall amounts that were recorded this morning at 8 o'clock. 60 millimeters at Calfontaine Primary School, 35 at Chobe Junior Secondary School, 21 at Plateau Primary School, 17 at Kazungula Primary School, 11 at Kazungula Police Station, 10 at Tsani Met Station, 8 at Karkubis Primary School, 6 at Kasani International Airport, 4 at Kazungula Road Border, 3 at Joani Met Station, 2 at Ngarange Primary School and Veda Met Station, 1 at Sakhele Junior Secondary School, and drops were recorded at Kule Primary School. Well, the current satellite picture shows clouds are visible over most areas over the north and the western parts of the country. Otherwise, over other areas, only clear skies are visible. As for tomorrow, partly cloudy conditions are expected over the entire country with possibility of isolated thunder showers over some areas at south and central. Well, in the morning, hot temperatures are expected over most areas of the country, with minimums ranging from 20 to about 21 degrees Celsius, except over Panamatenga, Francistown, and in most areas over south and southeast Katlin Kweni, who are expecting warm temperatures in the morning. In the afternoon, very hot temperatures are expected over the entire country, with maximums ranging from 36 to about 38 degrees Celsius. And due to these high temperatures, the public is advised to take necessary precautions. Moving on with the forecast, let's have a look at some cities in southern Africa. Showers are expected over Manzini, Maseru, Johannesburg, and Appington, but over Gqeberha and Cape Town, we're expecting only partly cloudy conditions. Thunder showers are also expected over Windhoek, while over Lusaka, we're expecting only showers and partly cloudy conditions over Beira, and thunder showers over Antananarivo. Partly cloudy conditions are expected over Blantyre, but over Dar es Salaam in Luanda, we're expecting some showers, and over Kinshasa, we're expecting some thunder showers. That's the weather forecast. Have also a good night.
Botswana is founded on a constitutional democracy that, amongst other things, subscribes to the doctrine of separation of powers as between the traditional 3 arms of government, that is the executive, parliament, and the judiciary.
Botsamaisi, parlamente, le bosekisi.